Very good morning, guys. So last day we just been stopped our discussion talking about config files, right? So basically, I've just been explaining you like what is the config file and how are we going to write the code in the config file. Okay, so we're just talking about that, about the config file and writing the codes in the config file. How are we going to write the code in config file? So yeah, talking about this config files, what information we put in the config file, the values that the user requires to modify in the future. The values the user requires to modify in the future. In the future, the user needs to modify some set of values. All the values what the user requires to modify in the future, we generally put them in the config files. So here, if you observe, hmm, yeah. So if you just notice it, in all the projects you'll be having the config file, and here you can store the config details. Generally, I said you the information is divided into different sections. The first section is startup section, and the startup section contains the information of the framework to which you're developing, the version to which you're developing your application. Is a 4.8, the latest version of the framework what I'm using. The second thing is going to be like app settings. These are all general settings, guys. App settings means all general settings. In this, generally what you use, like company name, address, these type of details are what we put. And your value should be in a key value combination. Watch it. Key company name, key address, key phone number, key email. I can add all the keys like this now. I'm adding another key here. Website, narayashetty.com. Are you clear? These are all the general settings what we put. Another section called connection string section. What do you write in the connection string section? I said your connection strings. You'll be putting all your connection strings in the connection string section now. So let's write the connection string. The first one is SQL Server connection string. Remember your connection string now? Write it. Come on, tell me the connection string for SQL Server. Data source is equals to server. User ID is equals to SA. The password is 123. Database is equals to the database, whatever you just wanted to connect to. What's your database? CSDB. And here specify what provider are you using. System.data.SQL client. I'm using system.data.SQL client. Same way, I want to work with Oracle. Write the connection string for Oracle now. Data source is equals to server. User ID is equals to like a Scott. Password is equals to Tiger. And here we don't have a database option. And provider, what is the provider? System.data.Oracle client. System.data.Oracle client. And then Excel. For Excel also, I just wanted to write the connection string. Write down what data source is equals to the path of the Excel file. Remember, when you're giving a paths and server names, if they contain slash, we use a double slash. Even in your SQL server also, if a server name contains a slash in that, you record use double slash. Already I said you, single is a double slash. But when you're writing in the config file, don't do that mistake. Don't use double slash here. The C# has single slash escape character, not XML. Here, normally you only write. What is the path? E drive. Remember, warrior folder, C#9. And here we created a document called school.xls, right? That's our data source. That is our data source. Next, what? We missed a provider now. Provider is equals to, yeah, we need a provider for this. Why? OLDB requires a provider. Who don't require a provider? SQL client and Oracle client doesn't require a provider. OLDB require a provider. And guys, if forgot what the provider we used, Microsoft.jet.asa. Okay, this is the provider. I think this only copy this connection string. Copy this and go to the XML and put it over there. But one thing don't forget, remove double slash. Why you know? Your application is designed in such a way, in XML single slash, when it reads to C#, it will come double slash. Because C# doesn't recognize single slash, when you read automatically double slash will come. If you put double slash here, 4 slashes will come there. Understood? So be careful. So don't put double slash here. If you put double slash here, how many slashes will come? 4 slashes will come there. Every slash will be replaced with another slash. So totally 4 slashes will come. So that's why here don't use double slash. Okay, properties is equals to provider system.data.OLDB. The provider is system.data.OLDB now. Are you clear? This is how you are going to store the information in the config files. So tomorrow, if the password has to be changed, client can change the password. Client can change the passwords now. Is it clearer? Client can change the password, client can change the company name, client can change the address, client can change the email or anything. For example, look at here, I'm adding a new form. I am placing a label here. I'm placing a label. For this, let me set the doc as top. And back color, I'm setting some background color. Sorry. Okay. See, only someone asked this question. Sir, we said dock top, but even though said dock top means it should occupy the full size. It's not coming. Actually, label has a property called auto size. What is auto size? You never increased or decreased the size of the label. You noticed it? Buttons and all, you're adjusting the size. Label size, you never set it. The label size is automatically the text size. That's called auto size. So that auto size property is true. When auto size property is true, the size of the label will be the size of the text. That's all. It won't expand. So what you do is simply go and change the auto size value false. You got it now, see? And now you need to size it accordingly. Understood? I don't remember. Someone asked this particular question. So you understood how to do it? Set the auto size as false. And now the text not coming in the center. For that I already said you text align. We have a text align property. Use the text align and you can align it to the position where you just want. I'm placing multiple labels. And here I am just decreasing the font size here, just 20. Okay, some labels I just added there. Okay, so these are the two labels I added. What do you want, in the first label, I want the company name. In the second label, I want the address. Are you clear? Company name, address, and the third label should show the phone number. The fourth label in the bottom should show the email ID and the URL, website URL. Clearer. This is what exactly I'm expecting. Okay, we'll do it. And okay. So let me come to the load event and write the code. What label one dot text is equals to. What should come now? You want to give a static value or you want to read the value from the config? Tell me, static or config? Config. You write static value, I said you the problem. Stop it here. Just stop it, stop it. If you write the static value, I already said you the problem. What is the problem? Tomorrow, client will not be able to change it now. So where to read it from? Config. So tomorrow client modifies the config, that will modify the form also now. To read the values from the config, first I need to import a namespace system.configuration. I need to import a namespace. Which namespace? System.configuration. Now in this, there is a class. What is the class? Configuration manager. Configuration manager. When you type, you won't get it. Why? The reason is, again, the same problem. You're required to add a reference. You need to add a reference. So first add the reference now. Already explained. In the third reference, we are in a project now. Already added system.data.oracle client. Last class, I remember Microsoft Visual Basic. Now we are adding a reference to system.configuration. System.configuration. Configuration manager dot app settings refers to app settings section now. We have a section called app settings now. Refers to app settings. Dot get. Dot get. Get what? Give the key name. Give your key name. What is the key name? Company name. And this value, where you want to show label. Label one dot text equal to. Next. Label 2 dot text is equals to same story. Configuration manager dot app settings dot get. Get what? Address. What do we have still there? Phone. Okay, phone. I want to show the phone in the third label. Label 3 dot text is equals to, again, what I'm doing, phone. Now when you run this, see the values are loaded automatically there. Okay. Here, just wanted to show like a phone. I just want to append some text before. I'm appending some text there. That's all. Okay, fine. And at the bottom, I have a label 4. In the label 4, I want to show the email, contact email, and the URL. Both I want to show. Both I wanted to show. So I'm just writing. First, I want to get the email. Semicolon, I just want to get the website. Okay. Now here, what do you want to get? Email. Now read it here. Same again. What you should read here? Email. And what you should read here? Website. Is that clear? Okay. Like this, we can just put the contact information here. Example, the WhatsApp contact also available here, email, phone. And also I'm adding one more key. What is that? WhatsApp. What is the WhatsApp number? Oh, sorry. Key equals to. Next, value is equals to what is the value of the contact WhatsApp value? 81791. 81791. The WhatsApp contact. Okay, I want to use this also in my code. I just want to use this also in my code. Okay, come on, let's do. Where? Yeah, how to write? Dollar. First what? Phone. And here what should come? Phone should come. And next is semicolon. WhatsApp. Okay, now. Here what is the key? WhatsApp. Phone. Wrong key. I think here. Oh, spelling mistake or what? Got it. Is that clear? I can read the values tomorrow. When you're installing this app now, what we really put on the client system, we'll prepare a setup for the application. When you prepare a setup for the application, what happens? So if you at all you go to a physical location of your project, generally how do you go? You open the Windows Explorer, select your folder, No, yeah, simple option is available. Right click on your project. You directly use the option called open folder in File Explorer. Directly it will open you. No need again File Explorer, selecting your drive, selecting your look. All these things not to go. Directly it open you there. Then I went to bin debug. Now see, these two files, what two files? I said your app name will change to your application name. These two files are what installed on the client tomorrow. For example, I copied them, I'm putting it on the desktop. Just there are two files what it installed. Now when you run this, automatically that happens tomorrow. My phone number changed. It is 6677. It is 6677. Simple. Open the config. Open with just with some editor like a notepad I'm opening. The number change it to 6677. Save. That's it. Are you clear? So client can modify it or not? Client can modify whatever you want now. So generally we don't put logic here. Array, the values that the client needs to modify, those only will be put here. Okay. Same way, I can read my connection strings also. I can read my connection strings also. For example, I want to read the connection strings. Okay. I'm adding a button here. Yeah, just added three buttons there. There are three buttons. Now on the click of the buttons, I want to read the connection strings now. So this button, what I want to read? SQL Server connection string. SQL Server connection string. Yeah. Oracle connection string. Yeah. Excel connection string. Is it clear? Come on, let's write. How to read connection strings now? To read app settings, how did we read configuration manager or app settings? To read connection strings, we say configuration manager dot connection strings. We are referring to the connection strings section. But here, it's not like get. Actually, we read it like this. Connection strings of key name. What is the key name? SCONSTR. Are you clear? Okay, the key name is SCONSTR. Here the key name is OCONSTR. And here the key name is Econ. Oh, sorry. I used SQL. What did I write? Let me see. SQL, Oracle, and Excel. Okay, let's use the same names. This is SQL. This is Oracle, and this is Excel. Clear? We are referring. See here, you understand a small thing. Eh? Here, there is one key, one value, right? But here, this is one key, two values are there. Whether two values, one value is connection string here, second value is provider name. Array, you have one key and two values, understood? The previous one has one key, one value. But here, one key, two values. That is why there, if I say get and give the key name, it will have the value. But if I say like this, what value it has given? It has two values again there. So you need to again clearly tell that what you want provider name or connection string. Connection string. If you want provider name, it is dot provider name. If you want connection string, it is dot connection string. That's it. That's how you should write. Dot connection string. And this value, guys, I want to directly show in the text of the button only. No labels, na button text only I'll show. Button one dot text equal to. Which button you click, that button text will be set with the connection string. That's all. This is 2 and this is 3. Run. Is that clear? I just got up all the 3 values right now here. Okay, now, so this is how you can read the values in your configs. This is the process to read the values in the config file. So if at all you want to read the config, we can just use the appropriate options. Thing is, if you want to read app settings, if you want to read app settings, what you should use? For app settings, we should use app settings.get configuration manager dot app settings.get. Whereas if at all you want to read which one? Connection strings, it is configuration manager dot connection strings of connection string name dot connection string. Okay, so that's how you can just read it, guys. So once you read, you can just try accessing the particular values in the code. I think that is snipping tool. We have a tool built in Windows. We generally use it for taking screenshots. We use to control, print screenshot now. They come with a big size and all. If at all you want to get it with a small, within the size, we have a tool, snipping tool. Just simply type snip, it will open here. You can click new and you can take a screenshot. You can select whatever you want and take the screenshots. That's all. That's a built-in Windows tool. That's it. Okay. What's it? We just been. Are you guys clear how to store the values in the config and how to read the config values? So we'll have different sections. And all of you remember this one. It's an XML file. It is an XML file. And the values, the complete values will be present under 2 tags called as configuration by configuration. The whole data will be present for you inside a tag called as configuration by configuration. You cannot write anything outside of it. You will get a error. Be careful. Everything should be present in that only. Under the ticket, separate sections will be there. Startup section, app setting section, connection string section, like this. Now, separate sections in this place. Is it clear? Again, when we start with web, There also will have, in web also will have, they are called web.content. There I'll show you still more sections. I'll show you still more sections in that particular place. Okay. But here we are talking about 3 sections today. Startup section, app setting section, and connection section. More sections I'll explain you when you just go to ASP.NET. In ASP.NET, name will be different there. There the name will be web.config, but there also configuration by configuration is a root element. So don't forget the complete code should be present in it. It is case sensitive. So my suggestion for you all is when you are typing Use IntelliSense for tag names and key names. Don't type. You type in wrong case, code will not work again. Okay. But the code must be present under this tag only in the form of different sections. In the form of different sections, you are going to write the code. Okay. So, just a minute. Form of different sections. And by default, we find what section? Startup. Section, which contains what it contains, the runtime and framework versions. The runtime and framework versions to which we are developing the application as below. This is the default code, guys. When you open the project, by default, what you'll find? Okay, now we can add new sections or blocks like what? App settings, next connection strings, etc. And to test that, okay, add app settings, and connection strings below startup, and finally the code should look as below. So guys, finally, this is how you just put all the details. Yeah. What do you do? New sections of blocks, like we can add app settings there. We can add connection strings there. Various different things, you can just add it at that location, etc. And to test that, what do you do? Add app settings and connection strings below what? Startup. And finally, the code should look as following. This is the code, guys. We have this code. Now, what next? How to read values, guys? Reading configuration values from application. To read configuration file values, from our application, from our application, in our application, in our applications, we are provided with a class. What is the class name? Configuration Manager. The class name is Configuration Manager. Within the namespace, once video is on. What is the namespace? System.configuration. The namespace name is system.configuration, guys. Present under the assembly. It is present under the assembly. Which assembly? System.configuration.dll. Okay. And to consume and to consume the class, we need to first add reference of the assembly using the add reference window. And we find the assembly under framework tab. Find the assembly under framework tab. You'll be getting the assembly under the framework tab. You know this now? How to add a reference? The third time you're adding a reference. After adding the reference of the assembly, import the namespace. Which namespace? System.configuration. And now we can read the values as following. Okay. How to read the values? Configuration manager dot app settings dot get off string key. What it returns is string. What is the string? The string is returns the value for given key as string. Same way, configuration manager dot connection strings of string name. Or here not key hai, here name. Dot connection string. What is written there? String. What it returns? Returns the value for given name. It is going to return you the value for the given name. In the first case, it returns the value for given key. And here it returns the value for the given name. Are you guys clear? Yes or not? So this is the process of reading the things now. First one is to read app settings. Following, just a minute. Code for reading app settings. And this one, code for reading connection strings. Okay, guys. Okay, how to read the app settings? Configuration manager dot app settings dot get. And what it returns you? A string. What it returns you is a string actually. The string, and the string contains what? The value what you are reading. Returns the value for given key. Same as that, here you are reading app. Configuration manager dot connection strings dot string name dot connection string. Return type is again string, all of you, and this string contains what? Returns the value for given name. It contains the value for the given name. Value for the given name. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or not? Okay, this is how you are going to read the values. To test the above process, add a web form in the project, place buttons, project, design it as below. Right now, there also code is there. Only thing is, I did not design anything directly. I showed you the code. That also works here. Nothing. Just I put it in a detailed way. That's all. Nothing different. You can use the existing things what are present in your document also. Okay, no issues with that. Code under form load event handler. Yeah. Button one, click event handler. Okay. So in the from now in the coming examples, I will not be using. I will not be using what the connection string anywhere in the code. I will not be using the connection string anywhere in the code. I will only read the connection string from the config file. Is my point clear? No more will be using the connection string anywhere inside of the code. The complete connection string will be coming for you from the config file only. Okay, now. Okay, so that's what I will do in the rest of the applications. I will read the connection string from the config file and I'll just use the connection string in all the places. So we are going to avoid writing connection strings from now. Any doubts? Understood? Okay, so don't forget, first you should import the namespace system.configuration. After importing the namespace system.configuration, then you need to implement all your logic. Okay, now, actually till now, we are working with the text box controls, and using text box controls, I just been explained you how to display the data. Array, till now 3 or 4 examples we worked. Not like 3 or 4 years, more than that only we just created, I think. We have added, for example, you just understand you have one example with SQL, two examples is SQL, XML, and in that again another example I shown you with SQL only with the data sets, data reader, data sets. Yeah, I just shown you different things to you, and in all the places where we have just worked till now, in all these areas where you are just used. If you remember, we have used the text box controls. What we used? We used the text box controls to display the output, to display the information, not display the output, to display the information to users. Correct? What we used? Text box controls to display the information to users. But tomorrow, guys, when you're working in the real time, all of you, remember this one. Watch it. Text box control is good here, no doubt about it. But text box control can show only one value at a time. One record only it can show you. Yes or not? How many records it can show you, guys? One record, but more than one record it cannot show you. Understood or not? By default, it will show you only one record. More than one record, it cannot show you. But if at all you wanted to display multiple records, if at all you wanted to have multiple records, then what to do? You need some control which is capable of displaying the multiple records, just like a tabular format. In tabular format only we can show multiple records, no, not in text boxes, tabular format. And to do that, we are provided with one control in our C# called as data grid view. Data grid view. And the specialty of the control is it can show you the output in the form of a tabular structure, rows and columns. It can show you the output in a tabular format, rows and columns. For example, I am adding a new form. Okay. On this, go to the toolbox, you'll find a data tab. Data tab. In the data tab, you'll be finding the control. Data grid view. Add it. This is the data grid view. Now I am setting this as dot top. Dot top. Now what I want to do, when I open the form, my employee data should come into grid view automatically. Some 10 or 15 records present in your table now, all the records should come into the grid view control as it is. Very simple, guys. Watch it. Observe it, all of you. I am importing system.data.sql client. Okay. And to write this code, I want one data set. Already in the last class, we learned how to work with the data set. And if data set, then compulsory what you require? Data adapter. You require a data adapter. Okay. Come to the load event and write what? Listen. From now, I will be importing one more namespace. System.configuration to read the connection string. First, string constr is equals to, just now I explained you how to read. Configuration manager dot connection strings of, what's it? SQL constr dot connection string. Dot connection string. Is that clear? Next, DA is equals to new SQL data adapter And here I'm writing the select statement. Select what are the columns here? Employee number, employee name, job, salary. Photo is there. We'll just discuss about the photo. I said you leave it. Status is also a column. From which table? Employee table. Order by employee number. Order by employee number. Okay. Comma. And in the second, I'll directly pass my constr. And the constr is containing the connection string now. Enough. You can pass constr directly. Next, ds is equals to new data set. Next, da.fill ds, comma, cust employee, a table name. Now, where is your data, guys? Data set. Now, I want to show the data in my grid view. Okay. What is the name? Grid view. Data. Grid view 1 dot data source is equals to ts dot tables of 0. You can bind a table directly to the control and run. It will show you the data in a tabular format. No need to write anything at all. Just the simple. That's it. Got it, see? Is that clear? So how simple you got your information? So simple what you say, you're just going to say grid view 1 dot data source is equals to ts dot tables of 0. With that, the data is directly loaded into my grid view control. This is my grid view control and loading all the data. Okay, fine, got it. What next? Actually, this control has a specialty. For that, you can edit the code. You can edit the values. Editing, what is the specialty in editing, sir? Editing will be there everywhere now. The specialty is you can edit the code and afterwards you can directly call update method on the data set, will automatically update the changes. Means you don't require to write the code for inserting, updating and deleting. Last class I explained you for how to insert the record into data set, how to update in the data set, how to delete. Manual coding you written, then you don't save code, correct? But today you don't require all these things now. Only straight away make the changes you want. Suppose see the employee numbers are not in a sequence. I want to arrange them. I just want to make it as 100. See this one 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, modified. Okay. Whatever I modify, these changes are automatically affected for even the data set now. All these changes, indirectly, you're doing the changes on data set only. Indirectly, you're doing the changes on the data set only. Now, suppose if you have a save button on the screen now, the save button, click on the save button, will save the changes to the database. Click on the save button, will save the changes to the database automatically. Is my point clear or not? Okay. So let us add a save button on the screen now. I will add 2 buttons on the screen. What buttons? One is save to database. One is save to database. Second one, close button, guys. Second button is close. Yeah. Now you have the 2 buttons on screen now. Save to database button, close button. Now what should happen? Very simple here in the runtime, when I click on the close button, it has to close me the form. And click on the save button, it has to save the data to the database. It has to save the data to the database automatically. So save should save the data and close should close. And save. Very simple code. Last class I explained you this code, remember? What did I do first? SQL command builder CB is equals to new SQL command builder of DA. And then I called DA dot update. Update what? TS and here table name. That's all. That's it here. You want to display a message? Yeah. Some message to user. What message? Data saved. Something. Otherwise, that is only an information message. Otherwise, those two lines, that you save the data automatically. Okay? I'm just giving a message. And then we'll come to close and say this dot close. You can do whatever changes you want. Whatever changes means inserting, updating, deleting, everything is allowed. Is that clear? Okay. Shall I make this changes permanent now? So earlier we did not save. That's why I lost the data. But now I'm going to save. On save. Data saved to database, close. Run and see. You will see the changes. Is that clear? Yes or not? I wanted to delete the record. So this is the record I'm writing. Delete. How to delete? Select and click on the delete button on your keyboard. Deletes. Select and delete. That's all. Okay, I want to update. What do you want to update? I want to update the salary of this 1006 Williams. It is 5,000. Let me make it as 6,000. I deleted it and I updated. Save. Save. And the data is saved. Understood? I want to add a record 1010. 1010. Okay. And I'm entering the name as Pooja. Analyst 18,000. 1011. Salesman 15,000. Steward, clerk, some 6,000. Save to DB, close. Changes are saved. Your changes are saved. Is that clearer, all of you? Yes or not? How simple working with this data grid you noticed it? I did not write any code, a simple code. This is a code for loading the data. Once the data loaded, what did you do? You return the code for saving. That's all. Save, just simply save the information. 2 lines. Create a command builder, call update. Did I write the code for inserting and updating and deleting? Last class we done. Last class we done. For adding a record into the data set, updating a record in the data set, deleting a record in the data set, for everything, you written the manual code, but you did not do anything on your own because it has the capability of code generation. Means auto update, auto delete, and auto insert, auto insert. Data grid view. This control is used for displaying the data in the form of a table, that is rows and columns. Okay, to display or to load data into the control, first we need to bind a data table of, what do you need to bind? data table of data set to the grid view control. Am I clearer or not? What to write? The data table has to be bound in this particular case. Control by using its which property? What is the property? Data source. There is a property called as the data source. Use the data source property and bind it. See the code? Data grid view one dot data source is equals to what are you binding? A data table. A data table is what you are binding in this place. Okay, done. What next? Data grid view control has a specialty. What is the specialty? Changes that are performed to data in it. Changes that are performed to the data in it gets reflected directly to the data of data table to which it was bound. Data of the data table to which it was bound. So we can update data set back to database directly. You can update the data set back to database directly. So that directly the data set can be updated. If you observe this picture, all of you, just a minute. Yeah. Look at this carefully. Look from the right side. Look from the right side. What do you have? A database, a table in it. Now in the middle, what do you have? Data set. Initially, data set is empty, right? When you call fill method, the table is loaded in the data set as a data table now. Fill method loads the table into the data set as a data table. Understood that? Now, loading this table can be bound to data grid view. How to bind? We use the data source property and bound the data table to the data grid view. Correct? Now, you made changes in the grid view. All the changes reflected in the data table. Remember, for that you did not write the code. Read that comment. Understood or not? No need to write any code. Finally, all the changes in the data table, you want to send it to table again. For that, you called a method. Which method? Watch the code. First, what did you do? Called fill method, right? That is step 1. Next, data source property. Step 2. Step 3, no code. Step 4. Directly call update. All of you clear? Understood this or not? That simple. You can just work with the control. Which control? The data grid view control. You don't require to write any coding for that. That automatically just performs everything to you in this place. So that is the specialty of the data grid view control here. Understood? Okay. Next. Today, let's talk about another important thing here. We learned about it. We did not check it out. What it is. I'll show you multiple examples with this grid view. I'll show you multiple examples with this grid view. With this grid view control, I'll show you different examples how to work with the grid view. We'll talk about it. Hold on a minute. See, listen. Actually, I just wanted to demonstrate about this concept. Already said you, but we did not check it out. What is that? You have a chance of loading multiple tables into your data set. You have a chance of loading multiple tables into a data set. How many tables? Any number of tables. I already said that the first feature, data set also can hold multiple tables. And these tables can be loaded from multiple databases also, I said. Yes or not? So today, I just wanted to show you that only. What's it? How to load multiple tables into a data set. how to load multiple tables into a data set. So guys, if at all you wanted to load multiple tables into your data set, we are provided with, see, a data set can hold a data set can hold any number of tables in it. And if at all you want to load multiple tables into a data set, we have two different approaches available. There are two different approaches that are available. What are the two different approaches that are available to us? Okay, I'll show you both the two options to you in this context now. The first approach what we have is take one adapter, and with that you can load multiple tables you want. Take one adapter, and with that you can load multiple tables. For example, look at this, all of you. SQL data adapter DA is equals to new SQL data adapter. And here I am writing a statement, select star from DEPT. Okay, na? Comma. Honest here. What is the honest here? Just already explained, you can read the connection string now and use it. We already talked about this now. Okay, that is, we are reading the connection string and using it. Okay. Now, before this, I'm going to create a data set, new data set. Data set DS is equals to new data set. Okay. Now, when I call DA.fill, all the data gets loaded in the data set now. So what I should pass now? DS, comma, table name. What is the table name? DPT. What's the table name, guys? DPT is a table name. Are all these tables we created already? DPT, EMP, sal grade, some set of tables we created already. I'm loading it. Okay. How many tables are there in the data set? One table. I want to load another table now. If you want to load another table, what you can do, watch. DA dot, okay, select command refers to the select command now. Dot command text is equals to, you can write a new select statement, select star from a new table name, and again you can call DA.fill and DS.emp. Now two tables are loaded there. Now I want to load third table, same process again. What's it? DA dot select command dot command text is equals to select star from and DA dot fill DS comma sal grade. This is the first approach how you can load multiple tables into a data set. Is that clearer, all of you? Read this description. Understood up to here first? Single adapter, by changing the select command, I can load these tables now. Using a single data adapter, we can load any number of tables into the data set by changing the select command of data adapter each time after calling fill and loading a table into data set. Each time after calling fill and loading a table into data set. Okay, so we'll be calling fill and doing it. Fine. I start you the code also. One problem in this approach, actually a problem in this approach is suppose tomorrow data set has updatable behavior. Yes or not? Suppose if I want to update the changes back to the database, I can update only the last table. I can update only the why. Understand the point here. Every time you are overriding the select command, means when you override a select star with select star from DEPT with select star from EMP, select star from DEPT is not there anymore now. You're overriding select star from EMP with select star from SalGrade. So select star from EMP is not there now. So by the end, we have one select statement only. What is that? Select star from SalGrade, correct? If the command builder comes into picture, it will generate insert update delete for which table? SalGrade table. So which table can be updated? Only the last table can be updated. That's what in this approach, if we want to make any changes to the data of what? Data set, data of data set, and send it back to database. Send it back to database. We can do it only on last table of the data set only. You can do it only on the last table of the data set only, because data adapter can hold all the four commands only for a single table, That is which table? The last select command. That is for the last select command we have given, only the required insert, update and delete will be generated. So what is the problem? All the tables cannot be updated. What tables can be updated? Only one table can be updated. This is the first approach. Second approach. What is the second approach? Second approach is we can use a separate adapter for each. We can use a separate adapter for each. Means for everything, we are going to use one separate adapter. For example, something like this. Watch it, guys. That is the process. Understood that? What do they use? Separate adapter for each table. Are you clear? Separate adapter for each table. Now tell me, can I update all the tables? Yes. Why? Adapter will contain the select, insert, update, delete for DEPT. Adapter 2 will contain, DA2 contains select, insert, update, delete for EMP. I'm sorry, I did not change here. And DA3 will contain for SalGrade. So all tables can be updated. Understood me? Another advantage is here. What is the other advantage? In this process, you can load each table from a different data source. What table from Oracle? What table from SQL Server? What table from MySQL? I can load like this multiple tables. Did you understand the advantage? So this is the advantage what you have in the second process. So guys, have a look. Using a separate data adapter for each table being loaded into data set, we can load multiple tables into data set. We can load multiple tables into data set. In this approach, it will be possible to update all the tables data back to the database, because each table is using an individual data adapter that will hold the required insert, update and delete commands for a table. And moreover, here each table can also be loaded from a different data source. That is one table from Oracle, one table from SQL Server, like this. Is it clearer or not? So that is the advantage. Okay. So next class here, I'll show you one example in the first approach. one example in the second approach, and I will try to understand when to use the first approach and when to use the second approach. I will explain you in detail in the tomorrow session. Okay, let's stop here. We'll meet on Monday.